Hello, welcome to Tarot Tea. Today we're going to do a mid-October 2022 reading for the sign of Sagittarius. And if this is your first time, welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. So what we're going to do is ask a general open-ended question. What does Sagittarius need to hear for mid-October? What's going on with Sagittarius, please? Thank you. I think there's definitely something going on. Hopefully not too serious, not too heavy. And to top it all off, we're going to ask for cards of advice. Let's see, we're getting down to it here. There's not much hesitation. Yep, that one just flew off the side of the table almost. So one more card and we will get started. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's see what's going on, Sagittarius. Got some stress going on at work. This Eight of Spades usually has to do with being overworked. It can mean that you have a problem with somebody at work. But there's something that's affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally, or all of the above. It's generally the card that kind of says you need to take a break, you need to relieve this stress. And you got this Jack of Spades out here, which also talks about this is either somebody younger than you that's giving you a hard time. It's also somebody they can be two-faced. Like on the outside, they're friendly and charming and all of that, but on the inside they have something planned that's not so friendly. Let's just put it that way, huh? This could also be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. When it pertains to you, and this is you, the energy you meaning the person or sign I'm reading for, if you're embodying this energy, this is about not trusting somebody. So it's possible this work situation involves somebody. I think I think it's twofold for you. I think it does represent a person, and I think you don't trust them. You may not know their sign, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're an air sign. Like I said, look at all these spades. My goodness. Okay. Three of Spades. So there's definitely some kind of struggle going on here with the Three of Spades. You're worried. You're again, you're under stress. It's also the card of being overworked. So if you got a lot of, tasks on your plate, you're working long hours, you're being asked to do things beyond your ability, or just too much, like you're not being compensated fairly. The three also talks about a third element or a third party, so there could be like another element to this that's like feeding into the situation. I can't really see a third party involved necessarily at work, but like I said, you might have a couple people that are just kind of on your case, on your bad side. They're just giving you a hard time that's making maybe the work more stressful than it has to be. Because I think most work does have an amount of stress that's just kind of built into it. But when you have, other complicating factors like personalities or just dynamics or, what's that word I was trying to think of here? Politics that are going on, I'm actually leaving a work situation like that. I understand when politics are just out of control, Anyway, you got a new start here with the Ace of Hearts, which means you're trying to start over and follow your heart instincts. In other words, something you truly desire. But it's also wrapped up with the Five of Spades, which talks about breakups and disruptions in lifestyle, especially. It's also outside influences, things being forced upon you. I think maybe this work situation is forcing you out in some way, and you're trying to follow your heart here with the Ace of Hearts. That's the only shining light I see in the midst of all these spades, which generally tend to be kind of this negative energy. Unfortunately, they're just They talk about problems and things going on. Friction. Friction just popped into my mind. Okay, so with the King of Spades, you also have this. This could be a supervisor. Another air sign, strangely enough. Again, if you don't know people's signs, it doesn't really matter. But if you happen to know, oh yeah, they're born in this month, so they're probably an air sign, you know, that kind of thing. You don't have to do any like too heavy detective work to figure it. Sometimes figure that out. Again, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Now, this person is a person of authority and power. Like I said, the thing is, they cause a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the reason you're being pushed, you're feeling pushed out. You need to start over. Worry and stress, overwork. And like I said, there could be another person involved, like depending on the structure of the work situation, there could be like a second in command. This could be represent that like that. Somebody you think is on your side and they're really not. Boy, this almost reflects kind of my current situation. Like I said, I'm leaving a situation where there's somebody in charge, somebody under them, who does happen to be younger, and I thought for a long time they were actually decent, and I've just grown not to trust them because they take orders from this person. Okay, I'll just be blunt. Yeah, I think you're being forced out of your work situation because of the Five of Spades. It's the breakup. That's disruption. You're having to start over. If it hasn't happened already, you're on the brink of it. Now, time is not linear, so this could have already happened, or this could be in the future. But it's pretty heavy, this stress at work thing. No doubt that's what we're going to be looking at here for Sagittarius for 2022. This thing's not working out in the work area, the work situation. It's becoming a circus. How can you deal with all these monkeys? Not your circus, not your monkeys. That's what I'm hearing that. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, but I think that's pertinent here. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Interesting, this is a completion of some sort, but the thing about it is you feel like you've achieved something. I don't know if if you've already moved on from this hella situation at work. I think you're feeling a sense of contentment with that, and not like I'll show them and I won, but just achievement. Like you got out of it. You were smart enough to get out of it, that kind of thing. Strangely enough, though, this is also about raise and promotion in a work situation. So maybe you didn't have to leave the company. Maybe you took another job within the company that gets you away from this dynamic. If you had to leave, though, maybe the place you went is a bump up in your lifestyle and your income. It's like, I'm a firm believer that when things aren't working out, there's a reason behind it. And it's not just because you're hard to get along with or that you have this bad luck following you everywhere. It's with the dark cloud of doom and gloom. It's to keep you going in a direction towards what's going to really fulfill you. I don't know that it ever ends, like, it's going to push you until you get to your cup of gold here, but it's just like if you're satisfied on some level or stuck in a situation where you're just, your personality doesn't allow you to leave, you're going to be stuck there, seriously. Even if crap is happening all around you, if you don't get pushed in that direction, you won't do anything else, because the human nature is that way. We like to settle in somewhere. I think some of us have personalities where that's easier than others. We can settle somewhere even if it's not ideal conditions. I'm not sure so much about Sagittarius. Actually, I worked with somebody who was a Sagittarius that was not my mind wasn't getting a fair shake, and they kind of stuck it out way longer than I would have. So maybe you kind of have that drive to kind of stay where you are. On the other hand, I knew Sagittarius that did not last very long in job situations, but it was more about their behavior. They had some addictions and things like that going on that just, things just fell apart because, you know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily the job. So I don't know. I'll leave it up to you to take that how it resonates with you. 7 of Clubs, though. You're feeling trapped. Or you were. Yeah. This is the Prisoner card. This is, especially in relationships and job situations, this is the feeling it's going nowhere fast. It's also about a feeling that you're desperate to get out, because that feeling of confinement can start to feel like literally like your air's getting cut off, and some people are that way. They can't physically, they can't handle that feeling of confinement, whether it be highly claustrophobic or just I know like some people can't wear hats because they feel it's too much on their head. Like the sensation of it being on their head makes them feel strange and uncomfortable, like they want to pull it off. So that certainly goes along the lines of this crappy ass job situation, if I might say so myself. I'm seeing that very clearly for you, and I sympathize with you wholeheartedly 100% because I've been there too many times. And you got something here you're grieving, and this is wrapping up a major cycle with this 10 of Spades. This was a loss on some level, even though it was crapola to the max. There's something here you lost. Whether it was the job itself, whether it was the people involved that you really didn't want to lose in some manner. Or maybe it was the income, maybe it was the benefits, maybe it was the job location, maybe it was the type of work itself that you just, maybe you had no problem with the work itself. It was, again, it was the politics and the dynamics and the personalities and all the crap that really can ruin anything, right? But there's a sense of grieving and having to go through a process of mourning on some level. I'm not saying you're sitting over in a corner crying about this, but you're not going to get over it quickly. Let's look at your cards of advice, Saggy. Yes. Something came to light here that wasn't apparent to you. This is about hidden truths, discovering things that are not so savory. Yeah. It's also about separations between people. So again, I think this ties in with this stress, this Jack of Spades and this King of Spades being central and key to this issue. I do think there's other people involved. It's not again, it's not about you just being in this work situation and you don't want to work, so you just made yourself miserable. It takes 2 to dance. Sometimes it takes 3 to dance. We don't have arguments with ourselves. So, unfortunately, too many times in these work situations, we're left with no choices or very limited choices. You can't make people see their contribution to situations. Anyway, I'm going to keep going here. 4 of Clubs. Well, things are very stable at home, so this is actually a good sign. If you did have to leave a job situation, perhaps even quickly, it didn't upset your sense of security and balance in the home sector. Things are just very practical, and you're feeling very content there. Yes, and another 4. So the 4 of Hearts talks about feeling connected and being well supported. So whatever is going on in the home life, it's stellar. You got what you need on that end of things, for sure. Queen of Clubs, it could involve a fire sign. Now, in the realm of advice, I'm looking at these fours and I'm thinking, if you're not appreciating the home base you have and how stable and solid it is, you need to appreciate gratitude. Gratitude is coming to mind. If we're not grateful for what we have, let me rephrase that. There's a saying I heard not too long ago about the reason gratitude is so important. It's like when you give a gift to a kid, or you give, a piece of candy or whatever it is. If that kid doesn't show gratitude, do you want to go and give that kid another gift or a piece of candy? The universe kind of works the same way. If you're not showing gratitude for what you have, it's not going to send you anything else. Because you're not putting out that energy to meet it halfway and to say, yeah, I like this, I want more, and I'm grateful. With the Queen of Clubs, again, you could be looking at a fire sign. This could be you. Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. Gosh, I'm starting to pick up that this is more than likely you. So this queen does have some power and authority. We're not reading genders here, so it's not about being female. But it could be female. The thing is, she has a very good head on her shoulders. She's very generous. She's very smart. She's got some experience under her belt. This could kind of be the place that you want to be, this soft authority, as opposed to these dominating king energies, which I always see as more dominating and aggressive in some way. Let's see if we can pull more cards of advice to clarify that a little bit. Or Sagittarius. Jack of Hearts. Feeling a little bit vulnerable, or you need to open up your heart here. This can represent a younger water energy. Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. You could have that in your chart. But generally, I see this card as someone feeling vulnerable, or the need to kind of wear the heart on their sleeve and be open to new experiences and have their heart open. Like, not have any preconceived ideas, not to build the inner fortress within yourself and to keep things away, being afraid that you're going to be taken advantage of or hurt or damaged in some way. Like a young person, you ever worked with somebody or met somebody that you're much older than them, and you can kind of see through the young innocence and I can't say that. The naiveness that they have about them is so very innocent in a huge way, right? They just don't know because they don't have that worldly experience to knock them down and harden them. Well, that's the card of kind of being in that position. I'm not saying you need to exercise your immature side, but there is a certain immaturity about it because there's lack of experience. I'd say it's about opening your heart. Any more advice for Sagittarius here? Yes, and this actually popped out when I was shuffling. I did want to mention that. I have that happen before I'm finished talking in the beginning of my videos, and I'm shuffling, these cards will just fly out. Well, it happened in another video I did yesterday, and this one flew out today as I was speaking. I just didn't mention it. It came out again, so the advice here is to learn new information or skills. This is about a new start, and perhaps relating to career and job, you may need to go in a completely different direction with your career and what you want to do with your life. It doesn't matter how old you are, we can start over at any age, so don't see this as, kind of an impossible task, especially if you're older. The world is changing so fast, and if we can't change with it, we're in trouble. It's things are changing faster than they did 10 years ago. I really do feel that. And I'm not that old. I'm not young, but I'm not that old. So, I think the advice here is to keep your heart open about these new things that you could potentially start learning, skills, gathering information, Gathering ideas. Jack of Hearts with the Ace of Clubs. How beautiful is that? It's encouraging to start over here, Sagittarius. All is not lost, and following your heart here. That's a good clue. Be grateful for this stable home situation and this connection and sense of support you have, whether it's a spouse, a family. Maybe you just live with your adult kids, who knows? But you need to be grateful for that and acknowledge that you have that it's there, that, you know, things really could be worse if you didn't have those things. And embody this energy. This Queen of Clubs really isn't a bad position to have. It could be, like I said, this could be another fire sign around you. This could be a spouse. If you're involved with another fire sign. To me, that's a screaming gratitude. Because it's clearly about connections and family and people like that who are supporting you. And I don't see anything concrete to do except open your heart and embrace this new start here. Open your mind. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to know when the next videos come out, we're looking at probably November. I don't think I'll have time for bonus videos. I have a crazy work schedule the next couple weeks. Just won't be able to fit them in. But thank you for joining me. Hit subscribe and notifications to know when the next video comes out, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.